Turn leftover blocks into a beautiful mug rug, a great, quick and easy gift. Stick around for a few minutes and I'll show you how. Hi everyone, I'm Paula and I'm here to give you inspiration and guidance that will help you create the masterpiece that you have in mind. And if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button below. Today I want to talk to you about what you can do with leftover quilt blocks. If you're anything like me, I'm always making experimental blocks, or I'll have a leftover here and there, and I just don't know what to do with them. Think about making yourself mug rugs. Mug rugs are a perfect gift. They're wonderful for your office. Friends and family eat them up. What is a mug rug? Great question. A mug rug is like a little miniature placemat where you can put a hot beverage, maybe a scone, a Danish, something like that. Just a small placemat that you can put on your desk or on your table next to your favorite chair. You won't want to put any cold beverages on these mug rugs because cold beverages tend to sweat and that moisture will wick into the fabrics all the way through to the bottom and actually get your surface wet. Keep that in mind. So let me show you what you're going to need to get this project done. So you're going to need a leftover block. You'll need some backing fabric. You'll need a scrap of batting, some straight pins, a ruler, a pair of scissors, and a rotary cutter and your sewing machine. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that our block is square if it's not already. We're going to take our scrap batting and we're going to take our backing and we're going to put those together. And then take my extra block and I'm going to put this pretty side down onto the backing. And I'm going to feel along the edge here just to make sure that I have that block on the batting. It is. I'm going to go ahead and take a few pins and I am going to put pins in all four corners just to make sure that this is being held down securely. There. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a marking pen or a pencil and we're going to mark about 1.5 inches away from the edge of the top on to the backing fabric. And what we're marking here is we're going to mark the opening that we're going to leave to turn our project right side out. This project will not require binding. So I'm going to start my sewing here. Move that pin. And I'm going to end my sewing here. Let's take this over to the machine and we're going to stitch 1/4 inch going all the way around. So to do this step, I'm going to change my stitch length to a 3 and I am going to do a back tack at the beginning and the end. Do a little back tack here. I'm just using the edge of my top as a guide for my 1/4 inch seam. And I am going to stitch all the way around here, stopping where my next pin is for the next opening. And then when I come up to my ending pin, I'm going to go ahead and do a back tack and cut my threads. We can go ahead and remove the pins at this time. Okay, now this is pretty important. You're going to grab a ruler that's long enough to do this next step. You want it to be longer than your work. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut away some of the excess batting here that's on the bottom. Okay, because we don't need that to create bulk in our seam. So I'm just going to take this backing and I'm going to peel this away and then set this ruler right down here on that fold. And then I'm going to bring it out just a little bit so that I don't cut that fold. And I'm going to cut off this excess batting. Okay? Now, I am also going to take my scissor and where my marks are here, I'm going to cut a 45-degree angle at both of those marks. So my stitches end here and my cut, you can see, ends at that point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissor and I'm going to cut away on this side this excess fabric here. Okay? And it leaves a flap. This flap is going to help us with the next step. But first, we're going to take our ruler and we're going to use the edge of our top to cut away any excess backing and batting. So now we're going to take our scissor and we're going to cut off a little bit of these corners, just getting rid of some of the excess. We are not going to be cutting through our stitching that we just did. There we go. And what that's going to do is it's just going to reduce bulk. Okay, so for this next step, I'm going to have a chopstick on hand. We're going to need that in a minute. But I'm going to reach inside of here between the back and the top. And I am going to use my fingernail to push all of these corners right side out. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to reach in here with our chopstick and we're going to carefully finish poking out the rest of these corners. Okay? What you're going to notice if you look here, as I set this down, if you look at the line on my cutting mat, you're going to notice that there is a bend in this edge. You're going to take your chopstick, you're going to reach inside of here, and you are going to run this chopstick right down the sides as best as you can. What this does is it helps with getting that new seam in alignment. And now let's look at it. There we go. We're going to take this over to the iron and we're going to press it. That one looks straight. That one looks great. So does that one. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flap and I am going to fold it right on top of that batting. And then I'm going to take the rest and I'm just going to fold this so that it meets like that. Now you can take a Wonder Clip and just put this in the middle here to hold it while you get it over to your machine, because what we're going to do now is we are going to do a top stitch all the way around this outside edge, about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Why aren't we doing a 1/4 inch? Very simple. This top is only folded under a 1/4 of an inch. If you try a 1/4 of an inch, you might miss catching that fold in the seam. And we want to make sure that this is nice and closed when we're done. So I am also going to make sure that I have a tail here for both the top and the bobbin thread, because we're going to need that later. I'm going to go ahead and put this right underneath my presser foot, 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and I am going to carefully sew down this edge. When I approach the corner, what I like to do is I like to stop, pivot at a 45-degree angle, do one stitch, and then sew down the next side. Now we're on the side with the opening. I'm going to be very careful to make sure I get that opening in my seam. And continue on all 4 sides. Before I get to this edge where I started, I'm going to actually take my top thread here and I'm going to pull it. And I'm going to bring up the bobbin thread to the top. I'm going to tie this off. And I'm going to place this knot right above one of the needle holes where the thread is coming out. Because later I'm going to bury this knot. And I'm just going to keep track of that while I approach that point. So as I'm approaching, I am going to make sure that I only overlap these stitches by 1 stitch if I can. And then I'm going to stop, bring up my needle and bring out the work. Cut the threads. So what I want to do here is I want to make sure that I can hide this knot, the start point and the end point. I want to make sure I can hide that in my seam. So I'm going to take this second set of threads and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to make a knot right over the top of one of those needle holes. Okay? And then I'm going to take my needle and thread and I'm going to bury this knot inside the sandwich by just I'm pulling just ever so slightly on this thread and I'm going to put the needle right down into the center of the sandwich through that needle hole. I am not going to the back side. Okay? And then I'm just going to give it a very gentle tug, and that knot just disappeared right inside the sandwich. Leave that there. Let's do this one. I'm just going to give it a very slight tug so I can see where that needle hole is, and I'm going to send this needle right inside there, inside the center of the sandwich, and then bring this piece up, and then give it a soft tug, and that knot just disappeared right inside the quilt sandwich. When you're cutting threads near your quilt, you don't want to accidentally cut the top, okay? So this is what I do to trim threads away. I take my scissor, I take my thread, I'm going to put the blade of this scissor right against the threads, and I'm going to pull it at the same time I push the scissor away. I don't close the scissor. I just push the scissor away, and that thread disappeared right inside the sandwich. Let's try this again. So see how I'm tugging at this thread. I'm going to put the scissor blade right underneath those threads, right up against it. And when I pull the thread toward me, I push the scissor away from me. And it cuts those threads without risking cutting the top. I hope this helps. Okay, so now we have our mug rug made, but it definitely needs some quilting. Feel free to grab a piece of tailor's chalk and a ruler and make some lines wherever you see fit. I'm just going to grab a line down the middle, 2.5 inches away. There we go. And that's good enough. Just as long as your quilting is at least 4 inches apart. For this one, I am going to do a very small back tack at the beginning and the end. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, post a comment below, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a single step in future videos. Love what you see? Don't forget to join me live on Twitch for interactive tutorials and real-time fun Monday through Wednesday. You'll find my channel link in the description below. Okay, so there you have it. Your mug rug is quilted. It's closed up. It looks wonderful. For the tailor's chalk that I used, I like to use a piece of leftover batting, and you just give that a rub and that tailor's chalk will dissipate. So there you have it, a very beautiful, quick and easy gift idea using leftover blocks to make mug rugs. I sure hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see you until next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Happy quilting. Bye, everyone.